Well, we got Monday Night Raw tonight, August 5th, 2013. Let's get started with this Raw, shall we? So, WWE Raw kicks off with Daniel Bryan. We get to see him doing the makeover. He has those, what are they called? Avocados over his eyes. He's just pretty much, or zucchinis. He's pretty much just having a good time. And as he's doing this makeover, you see him get a ponytail and all this other stuff. And it turns out he's looking more and more like an ugly bearded version of Damian Sandow throughout all this. Stephanie McMahon introduces him, and out comes Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan cuts a very good, solid promo in the ring. And what I like about what they're doing with Daniel Bryan and John Cena at this moment is that Daniel Bryan is separating himself as an entertainer, because we all know WWE nowadays, they don't really like to say they're a wrestling company. They like to say they're an entertainment company for the most part. But Daniel Bryan separating himself, going against the grain, going against the mold, saying that he's a wrestler, John Cena's an entertainer, is what I want in this feud. Now, then comes the clusterfucky part. We have Vince McMahon coming out for whatever reason Vincent Kennedy McMahon wants to come out for. He comes out and pretty much is telling Daniel Bryan to shave the beard. Now, let me give you guys my thoughts on Daniel Bryan's beard, because I know a lot of people are like, Chase, what are your thoughts on his beard? Well, I don't know if you guys really care, but my thoughts on Daniel Bryan's beard is I personally hate the damn thing. I think it's too fucking nappy. But what I like about it is it's very, very standoutish. It's something that makes Daniel Bryan stand out as an own individual. It's something that us YouTubers and wrestling fans, we discuss about, like whether he should shave it, whether he should not. It's something to talk about, and it's something that defines his image, defines of who he is in the WWE. He's technically a rebel, outcast type of wrestler, especially having to do a corporate makeover. Vince decides that he needs to shave this damn beard, and out comes Wade Barrett. Like, really? This is Wade Barrett's new gimmick? Fucking a barber? Is that his new gimmick? It doesn't even matter, because Daniel Bryan shaves a little bit of his beard off. Pretty much just says, you know what? Fuck you, Wade Barrett. And Daniel Bryan reveals a new shirt that says, the beard is here. All right, that's his new catchphrase. The beard is here. Overall, the opening segment was pretty entertaining. Rob Van Dam versus Alberto Del Rio. Honestly, I don't care about this match. It was pretty good. I've been liking RVD's return to WWE. He's actually doing pretty damn good, in my personal opinion. Del Rio ends up losing this match, and this causes Del Rio, and I finally figured out what that bucket that Ricardo Rodriguez carries around is for. It was just so that way when Del Rio turns on Ricardo, he can hit him on the head over it. Del Rio was very vicious in this segment. I very liked how vicious Del Rio was in this segment. I really liked how they got rid of Ricardo Rodriguez, because there's a bunch of possibilities that you can do with Ricardo in the later run of this. Like, Ricardo can come back, be a baby face. There's a lot of great possibilities for Del Rio and Rodriguez in the near future. So I really did personally like this myself. The only problem is this. Del Rio's your world champion. Why is he losing these matches? I don't understand. It just makes no sense to me. But we move on forward from that as we get a segment between Cody Rhodes and Damian Sandow. Sandow and Cody Rhodes, pretty good stuff here. They showed that video package again. It's a great video package. And it turns out that, Cody got the briefcase. It's all musty. I loved it. It was like, it looked like it was actually in the ocean. Not 100% really in the ocean, but it looked like it was stuck in there. They did a great job designing it. It looked very, very nice. And the one little thing that I loved the most was that we got to see what was inside the briefcase. Remember, guys, back in like 2011 when The Miz was Money in the Bank and that briefcase opened, there was nothing in there. We saw now that the briefcase is open and that the contract is now all brown. It was a very good little touch by the WWE, and it did a good job of building up towards the Cody Rhodes and Damian Sandow feud that we're probably going to get at SummerSlam. Ryback taking on Mark Henry in a WrestleMania rematch. Okay, first of all, we're in August. Why are we getting a WrestleMania rematch? Why are we getting a rematch from something that happened in goddamn April? It makes no sense to me. And what is Ryback's character? Does Ryback even have a character? He just comes out and does nothing. I mean, seriously, he lost by countout. Mark Henry is one of the most vicious men in this company, and he's winning by countout? Come on, WWE. You guys can do a lot better than that. A whole lot better. So, I don't know what the hell they're doing with Ryback, but I hope it changes soon. Because in all honesty, I don't know what they're doing. All right, John Cena cut a promo, and he made fun of the indie wrestling, and the indie wrestling fans were very upset about this on Twitter. Everyone was pretty damn upset about what John Cena said on the microphone. Now, personally, this is my situation, guys, if you guys don't know. I recently used to have direct TV, okay? I used to have direct TV. I used to get Raw on the East Coast. But now, I have AT&T Uverse, okay? I don't get Raw until it's actually 8 o'clock my time. So right when I'm doing these reviews, Monday Night Raw is technically on my TV. I watch Raw via stream because that's the only way to watch it early so I can do my reviews at normal times where most people do it. So I have to watch it via stream, and my stream was very laggy. So I don't know what John Cena said to make the internet fans really upset. If you guys can comment down below what he said, go right ahead, because my stream was very laggy. I had to reset my computer, and when I came back, oh, baby, I came back to something big. My boy, Randall Keith Orton. And also, fuck you to that South African fan. Don't you dare hit my boy in the nuts ever again. But my boy, Randy Orton, came back, motherfuckers. And he was standing up for all of us wrestling fans. He was telling us that he will walk out of SummerSlam as the WWE champion. Oh, baby. But apparently this is an injustice by the Shield that Randy Orton becoming WWE champion is such an injustice that they had to come out and ruin the glorious moment of Randy Orton. Yeah, that's ridiculous to me. But what's even more ridiculous is we're getting a 6-man tag match announced later on tonight. All right, let's just move on. Eric Rowan and Luke Harper, the two other members of the Wyatt family, took on Tons of Funk. This was actually a nice little decent build-up match for the Wyatt family. I've been very underwhelmed from the Wyatt family since they debuted because I felt that they were treated such like a big deal that we haven't really got to see much from them. And I'm glad they had a little standard match here. I believe they've also wrestled on SmackDown, but I'm talking about on the Raw main frame of things. Like, if you're being treated like a big deal, Monday Night Raw better be treating you as a big deal. And really, to be honest, really good job here for a simple build-up match. But the promo afterwards, you know, Bray Wyatt cuts a nice solid promo. And then we get Kane's music hits. And Kane is back to the old monster Kane. Just bring back the voice box and I will be in love. But Kane announces that they are going to have a Ring of Fire match. A lot of people were like, oh, is it an Inferno match? Everyone was freaking out about this on Twitter. Like, oh, it's an Inferno match. But WWE'S came out and said, no, it's a Ring of Fire match. I don't know what to expect from a Ring of Fire match, but it still sounds fucking awesome to me. Great matchup to put Bray Wyatt in against Kane. Sounds fucking awesome to me. Can't wait to see it at SummerSlam. I think it's going to be a great match. And a classic student versus teacher match. Christian beat up Heath Slater. All right, let's move on from that. CM Punk taking on Curtis Axel. In all honesty, who cares about the match itself? All we care about is that Brock Lesnar, the beast himself, came down to the middle of that ring. Once you heard, you knew shit was about to hit the fan. Brock Lesnar ripped that steel chair away from CM Punk. It was hilarious. But the best part of it all was that belly-to-belly suplex. Woo, that was a vicious belly-to-belly suplex. And what I like the most is how this feud right here has to be Brock Lesnar's best feud since coming back, because they don't make Brock Lesnar have to talk too much or just do nothing or get his ass kicked. He looks like a legit threat. And not only that, there's a lot of great chemistry here between CM Punk and Paul Heyman. And you saw when CM Punk got the upper hand a little bit in this little exchange that they were having, he was about to crack Paul Heyman with that steel chair. But Lesnar came in at the end of the day, F5'd him. Punk looked bloody, battered, and beaten. And next week on Raw, we're going to get a man versus man match between Lesnar, between Heyman and Punk. Overall, very good segment here for the WWE. Probably my highlight of the night for the show, most likely. Fandango, he was dancing, but then all of a sudden, boom, boom, boom. Hey man, Kofi Kingston is back. Well, he's not really Jamaican. Kofi Kingston is back in the WWE. He's supporting long-legged tights. He won the match via Trouble in Paradise, which kind of surprised me. But let me just go off on Kofi for a second. I hope WWE does something with Kofi. When you look at Kofi Kingston, doesn't he look like a certain NFL superstar on the rise currently in the NFL? If you look at the UFC's current light heavyweight champion, Kofi may not be as tall or long as him, but he kind of has a similar build to Mr. John Jones. Just saying, do something with Kofi, WWE. Just do something with Kofi Kingston. The real Americans, Jack Swagger and Antonio Cesaro, took on the Usos. And the Usos and the Real Americans, solid tag team match. Jack Swagger and Cesaro get a win. They needed this win to prove that they are a legit tag team and they're in the tag team division. I don't know why Cesaro can't just have Cassius Ohno come up from the damn NXT roster, but hey, it is what it is. I actually like that Cesaro is with Zeb Coulter because I find Zeb Coulter a very good mic worker. And to you Packer fans out there, how does Vince Young taste? Yeah, that's right. If Aaron Rodgers ever goes down, Packer fans, you have to worry about me what? That's all I gotta say. Alright, I decided to talk about the Divas match later. If you guys don't know, on SmackDown, Layla turned heel. Who cares? Layla ended up defeating Caitlyn thanks to AJ Lee. And we get to Big E Langston versus Dolph Ziggler. AJ and Caitlyn have run-ins in this match. Honestly, who cares? Big E Langston surprisingly wins. Good for Big E to get a win like this. But to me, personally, I don't care about this Dolph Ziggler and Big E Langston feud. They're very lazy with this feud. It's not like Cody Rhodes and Damian Sandow where they're putting a lot of time and effort into it. They should just honestly just drop this feud and honestly not do it anymore. I don't see the point in it. So let's just move on to Stephanie crying into the backstage and the game, the main event, Triple H promising her that Vince McMahon will not hurt her again, or her feelings at least. But we move on to the six-man tag team main event between The Shield and John Cena, Randy Orton, and Daniel Bryan. Now, is Daniel Bryan getting that breakfast card membership? You got to tell me, Schlag Daddy. I don't know. Is he a part of the Breakfast Club just yet? Because this is kind of a big deal being a part of this John Cena and Randy Orton tag match. I mean, kind of a big deal, but Randy Orton himself looked amazing. Daniel Bryan looked amazing as Cena did his usual shit. Roman Reigns looked good. Rollins, Ambrose, you know what it is, black and yellow. Speaking of which, go check out the Lexman's red and yellow video. Fucking hilarious. It's about the almighty Hulkster, brother. And you know me, dude. I love anything that promotes the Hulkamania, brother. But we're not talking about Hulkamania. We should talk about Bryan Mania, because it was running wild in this damn match, that's for sure. But not as big as Orton Mania or that massive Orton cock. And who saw Total Divas the other day? John Cena had a major ring boner. But if you guys want to hear more about Total Divas, go watch the Total Divas rundown. Yeah. Good shit with my friend Chels and a couple other people that I'm going to post later this week. It's going to be good shit. And also send questions for the Q&A as I wrap up this Raw review. The match ends in the no contest pretty much when the Shield attacks Daniel Bryan. When Daniel Bryan has the no, yes, the label, whatever the fuck they're calling it, lock on Seth Rollins. This leads to John Cena and Randy Orton clearing house for a bit with Daniel Bryan. Randy Orton RKO's Daniel Bryan and John Cena, and I'm like, we're just gonna cash in! We're just gonna cash in! But Randy did not fucking cash in, motherfuckers. The Shield think it's an injustice for Randall Keith Orton to cash in the Money in the Bank. In all honesty, I don't understand why the Shield needed to do damage to Cena and Bryan some more. I mean, they're kind of like a big SummerSlam match, and the Shield have kind of been working with the Usos and Mark Henry, so it's kind of random to me. But I did like that Randy Orton was featured as a big-time player and shows that, hey, that Money in the Bank briefcase? Randy Orton's going to try to cash that in at SummerSlam. And so it makes SummerSlam very interesting because, technically we have a lot of different dynamics going with Cena and Bryan. Not only are they going to probably put on a really great match against each other, but it's also Randy Orton. What is he going to do? He's kind of like that wild card X Factor. I'm really liking that they added Orton into the mix. It's not because I'm a Randy Orton fan, but I find it a little bit more interesting because we got an X Factor going. We don't know what to expect at SummerSlam. Who knows? Maybe Randy Orton won't even cash in. I just didn't like the Shield beating up John Cena or Daniel Bryan because, frankly, I felt like the Shield haven't done shit in a while. But Anyways, guys, I'm about to wrap up this Raw review. This Raw was actually pretty decent. Wasn't one of the greatest episodes, but it was a pretty decent Raw. I always think Raw should still go back to 2 hours because some of this stuff went long as hell. But if you guys like me, you can subscribe down below. I got the Total Divas rundown coming out. Q&A tomorrow, so send in your questions. If you haven't sent in the questions, like this video, dislike this video, do whatever you want with this video. Share this video with your friends. Follow me on Twitter at ChaseOliver68. I'm out of here. Hope you guys have a great evening. It's a Monday night. Stay safe. Go watch WWE. No, go watch USA Summer Camp or something. Or Big Brother. See y'all later. Peace!